Hi there, this is Justin Krane, Certified Financial Planner Professional and founder of Krane Financial Solutions. Welcome to Money You Got This. So how can you really live? How? By uniting your business money, your personal money with your life and your business. Word up.
Krane Financial is an SEC-registered investment advisor. However, such registration does not imply a certain level of skill or training, and no inference to the contrary should be made. A copy of our current written disclosure statement discussing our advisory services and fees is available upon request. Information contained herein is for informational and illustrative purposes only, and general in nature. It should not be considered specific financial planning or investment advice, or a recommendation to buy or sell any type of securities or other investment products.
What's up, everybody? This is Justin Krane with a very special guest today. Today we have Fred Martin. Fred is one of those guys who you want to like cuddle up with and hang and talk taxes. Fred, how's it going? Welcome.
Good, Justin. Thank you for having me.
I'm psyched you're listening to the show. I want to give you this free report, 3 things multimillionaires do to grow their wealth. Just go to coolmoneyshow.com to grab it. That's coolmoneyshow.com to grab it. Thanks. So everyone here is accounting, and when you hear that, you're like, oh my God, I don't want to deal. It's something that I have to do, that I want to eventually do, but I don't roll out of bed and want to deal with my taxes. I'm sure you get that all the time.
I just had a panicked client that we were talking earlier this morning. I'm telling her about the tax savings and all this stuff, and she just like said, I can't handle this anymore. You're too confusing. And I'm like, well, I can't really say it much. So she basically, she doesn't care. Her husband, she says, she lets her husband decide, but she's the breadwinner, or not the breadwinner, but she's the business owner. But so, yeah, I get that all the time.
Yeah. So you do accounting, and you're also in business management, and you're also the CFO of the whole, your whole accounting firm, right?
Right. I've been with my firm for 27 years now, and about, 15 years ago or so, 15 years ago, I became a partner, and with that time, they made me the CFO of the company as well, which basically handles the day-to-day operations of our finances. And then you mentioned business management. We do that for our clients, which is basically paying the bills and running our clients' lives, doing insurance, dealing with financial guys like you. So basically running the day-to-day operations of our clients' lives, of people who are high net worth individuals, athletes who don't really have the time, like you mentioned earlier, to deal with all this stuff. So they pay us to do it. So
let me let everyone in who's listening, like, business management is insane. It's wild. It's crazy. It's great. It's a ton of work. I mean, you guys do so much stuff. It's insane what you do.
Yeah.
You're running someone's financial life. And, I got to ask this question, right? Like, what is the weirdest question or the weirdest thing that one of your clients has asked you to do?
Wow. See, they probably would not ask me that because, I'm the partner, and I'm X number of dollars per hour. So they're probably asking one of my account managers to do, and so I don't know probably some crazy stuff,
Yeah.
but not like go get my dry cleaning type stuff. I don't, at least I hope not.
But they might be
but
buying
walk my dog, maybe. I wouldn't.
But they might be buying like a sports team, or like something just like, wow, like think about, the things that people want to do. And I know you deal with a lot of athletes, right? And really a lot of entertainment people. I know that we share a few people together.
Right.
It can get pretty gnarly,
Yeah, it's funny. Last year, one of my business management clients, he's in the entertainment industry. He called me and says, I know you're going to say no to me, but I'm going to ask anyways. He goes, I want to invest in a restaurant. I said, okay, you're right. I'm going to say no, but let me ask, how much do you want to invest? He said $50,000. I said, go ahead, go crazy. I know how much his net worth is. So it's like, okay, $50,000 was a drop in the bucket. But if you add a zero to that number, I would have probably said, you're crazy. Yeah. So I don't know how it's doing right now, but I need to deal with that at the end of the year. So
hopefully there's more food on the table for the guy.
Yeah.
But I want everyone to really get to know you, because you're a solid guy. You're a big Dodger fan. I know that, right? But what I want to know is, You probably don't. I've done a little bit of research on you. I know more about you than you think.
Oh, wow. Okay.
What was going on with your experience in the Air Force?
Wow.
You were there for 4 years, and
Yeah.
that was before you got into accounting and taxes and money, right?
Correct. Correct.
So
So
what did you learn from that experience, and how did it shape you?
it was, I have to preface the story because I went to Loyola Marymount after I got out of high school and wasn't ready for, really wasn't sure what I wanted to do. They told me when I walked in there, I was 17 years old. They said, you have to pick a major. I said, I don't know what I want to do. And my cousin, who's a year older than me, was an electrical engineer major. I said, well, geez, I can just as smart as him. I can do that. Long story short is I lasted 2 years at Loyola Marymount and wasn't, didn't do very well, partially because of academics, partially because of other things. But so my dad said, why don't you join the military? And I said, well, okay, well, interesting. And so we went down to the recruiter's office, and he was just down the street in the Air Force. He said, and I was, for whatever reason, I had something about air traffic controlling. And he says, I got a great job for you. And I said, okay, great. So I signed up. I went into the Air Force, and I do my 6 weeks of boot camp in San Antonio, Texas. And they say, you're going to Fort Walton Beach, Florida for your tech school. 14 weeks. I said, oh, cool. Pensacola, just outside of Pensacola. It was spring break. Cool. I was 19 years old. And then, so I get to my place and they said, well, you're not really an air traffic controller. You're on the ground dropping bombs, basically. You're talking to the Air Force pilots and then having them drop bombs to the bad guys. So,
Oh my God.
yeah, it was a combat job that I signed up for, not knowing, obviously. But it was actually the best thing that ever happened because we weren't at war. This was from 85 to 89. So we weren't at war. And after a couple of years, I took a bunch of classes on base when I was in the Air Force in West Germany at the time, Frankfurt, West Germany. And took my Accounting 1 class, had a great teacher. And took the Accounting 2 class with the same teacher, and I loved it. And next thing you know, I'm out of the Air Force. I'm finishing up school at Cal State LA, and I took enough units at University of Maryland on base there, where my diploma right there says University of Maryland. I've never been to Maryland in my entire life. I got out, and got out in 4 years. Went to Cal State LA, like I said, transferred my units to Maryland, and there you go. The rest is history, I guess. So I didn't drop any bombs on actually any bad guys. It was just all fake stuff, but it was the best thing.
You're dropping bombs on your tax clients now. It's fine. It all works out.
Exactly.
So, but you're in the Air Force in Germany training and in Florida?
Went to Florida first, and then my first station was in Washington State, up in Washington State in the Tacoma area. I went there for a year and a half, and then I got shipped for my last 2 years of my 4 years in Germany. So it was great.
Is it pretty hardcore there?
In the Air Force,
really straighten you out?
I loved it. It was great because I was a mama's boy. Yeah. Grew up in a Middle Eastern background, and my mom did everything for me. So I learned how to make my own dinner, iron my clothes, so it was the best thing that ever happened to me. So I got domesticated, and my wife thanks the Air Force for all that they did.
I love it. I love it. Like, who can basically say that they learned accounting in Germany and came back to LA to practice?
That's probably pretty rare. So yeah, I owe it to my accounting teacher from back then. I unfortunately I don't remember his name, but he was fabulous. I remember his face, but don't remember his name.
The thing that I would think about the Air Force is it's any of the armed forces. It's like there's structure and there's accountability, and you got to deal with that. And accounting is the same way. You got Uncle Sam knocking on your door. You got forms you got to fill out, and you need to make sure you know what you're doing. Otherwise, you're screwed.
Yeah. We all make mistakes, but you learn, and especially now with the tax laws changing every day, every year, well, not every day, but every year, and they made the tax laws more difficult for 2018, and that's been a challenge. Learning about that, I'm still dealing with 2017 tax returns still, because we have to file October 15th as a deadline for the individual procrastinators in the world, but still having to know what's going on for 2018 and incorporating those those new tax laws, so my clients can pay the appropriate taxes for 2018 during the year, the quarterly taxes that some of the business owners have to pay.
I want to hit that, but I also want to ask you, because I know you told this to me, and I was like, wow, that's pretty cool, because you don't hear this a lot in business anymore. You started, you worked at one accounting firm before this one, and then you basically started at Winningham, kind of like in the mailroom, right?
Well, I mean, we didn't have a mailroom back then, but yeah, I was a staff accountant, and you're right. When I got out of the Air Force, I went to Cal State LA. I was working at a small CPA firm in South Pasadena, just doing, 15, 20 hours a week. And then I graduated, and my dad said, okay, go find a real job. So I responded to an ad in the LA Times. And like I said, I just had my 27-year anniversary September 30th, which was a few days ago.
And you're like 32. I mean, you're fine.
Yeah, I wish.
Air Force in Germany, and 5 years later, boom, you're doing taxes in the Valley. I love it. I mean, like, who can say that they've worked in an accounting firm for 27 years and started as a staff and is now the CEO and main partner of a firm? That's amazing.
Well, I'm not going to say the main partner, because I've got 6 other great partners. But yeah, it's pretty, it's amazing. And all the other partners, 38 years, 35 years, 31 years, and then me at 27 years, and then there's another one at 21. So we've been here for a long, long time, and know each other better than our spouses probably.
What would you tell someone who's building a business and has been there for a few years and is just trying to survive or get ahead, and they're like, 27 years, I don't even know what I'm doing tomorrow night? What would you tell someone who's trying to build a business and might not have that perspective of the long term?
See, the people, the youngsters these days, they don't think of the long term. They it's amazing how many resumes I see that people are going from office to office, every 2-3 years. I'm not sure if they're trying to find a few more bucks, or they're just not happy with the quality of life and work-life balance and all that stuff that the millennials are really looking for. I know I look at myself at 27 years. I go, holy crap, nobody does that anymore. So I like to think, I'm an odd bird, but a pretty good odd bird. And I think it's just all about perseverance, because I've had opportunities to leave. I remember 10, 15 years ago, there was an attorney that approached me. One of his friends was a CPA in Glendale, if I remember correctly. And he said, why don't you take a look at the business? And the CPA passed away and unexpectedly, and had a book of business, and he wanted me to take it over. And I thought about it, and I was like, I've got a good thing here, and there's just, so it's nice that I can just come to the office and I've got, if I don't know the answer, you call me up as my client or anybody, you call me up with a question or an email, and I don't know the answer. The nice part of it is I can probably get that answer from these walls right here, because I've got, like I said, the staff and other partners that make it easy for me to do my job. Basically.
I can relate to that. I worked at UBS for 15 years, and now I've been on my own for 10. And I don't move around a lot, and that was even hard enough to leave UBS. I felt like it was the right move, but I do think having a vision is big, and really seeing yourself through something, because I've had opportunities to leave or do something else. But, I think there's something to be said about consistency and building something and seeing it through.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's a nice feeling to have this, to be part of a legacy, if you will. And the partners, Winningham and Becker, they're still young guys. They're 66 and 61, but they're going to retire here in the next few years. And they know that me at 53 now, is part of the legacy of their name. Right? The name Winningham, Becker and Company. They. A lot of people know it in the Valley. It's pretty standard for the amount of years we've been in business and so forth. So I'm not going to change the name. I don't need to have Martin on the door. It's quite all right.
It does sound good if you just think about it. Martin, Winningham, and Becker. It's just like, come on. Because Martin's a double entendre. It's like first name, last name. Like, Oh, Martin Whittingham. He started it.
Yeah.
Some guy named Becker just piled on top.
I don't know if I'll allow them to watch this video now.
I actually just thought of a really funny gag gift I'm going to get you. I'm not going to tell you that. All right. I want to talk about this because this applies to so many people, and it's about people. Because a lot of clients that I work with, they own businesses, and they're either working towards getting to 7 figures, or they're at 7 figures in their business and they want to make this next leap. But their biggest challenge in doing it is managing people. They can't quite figure out who to put where, how to hire this person, or how to deal with this employee. So you're a partner at this firm. You have what? Staff accountants, managers, and bookkeeper. I mean, what do you have? I'm guessing 50?
40, yeah.
40.
Yeah, if I look, we're about 43, 44 people right now. And so it's a challenge.
Yeah, how do you manage?
Yeah, it's a challenge. I mean, when I started here 27 years ago, we were 16, 17 employees. And obviously with employees, they're great because they're our assets. They're our biggest assets of our firm, and we need them. So it's hiring good people, and that's we've lucked out, to hire the good people who come in and do hard days of work and get paid fair, and we try to do things, bagels on Friday, and lunch and dinner orders during tax season. So just things like that, and having the ability to come in and go as you want, basically. We kind of like people to be here from 9 to 4-ish, but there's people who come in at 10:30 and leave at 7:30, 8 o'clock at night. And, so it's just being flexible and just trying to manage everyone's expectations. Working from home is a huge thing now. The stand-up desks that we have, for the younger people who, that's what their doctors are telling them, that you shouldn't sit all day like we are sitting right now.
So are you involved in the hiring process at all?
Sort of, not primarily, but I do get involved in interviewing some of the staff accountants or the supervisors. It all depends on how our HR, our office manager, our COO thinks we should do it. Figures out who the person is and kind of meshes their personality with whoever the partners are present, and actually some of our staff accountants share in the interviewing process, which is, they feel vested too when they're interviewing. So.
I want people to learn about, you might not know the answer because if you're not involved, but if you do, I'd love you to share it. How do you hire good people? Like, how do you do that? Because
it's not always easy. I mean, we've unfortunately, hired people that didn't work out, after 6 months, a year or so. So it's just one of those things where you got to get your gut feel, and you could do the interviewing process is all fine and dandy, but some people just interview well, or some people just don't interview well. But the people who interview well, hopefully they can back up whatever they're saying, Yeah. So it's a hit and miss, but I think we've hit more than we've missed over the years. So, we're lucky.
I like the trust your gut. I think we need to do that more in business and in life.
Yeah.
And not do what we think we should do when whatever, and even hiring, I that's worked for me. I'm a little bit more methodical in hiring people. I've done some funny stuff to see to make sure if people actually follow through.
Okay.
One of my, so I have like this Google form, this Google Doc, and on the top is a header with a description of the position, and buried in there is a sentence that says, when I ask you a question about what kind of fruit you like, please reply with the word strawberries. So I have them fill out, there's like 10 questions, all on the up and up. And then question 6 is, what kind of fruit do you like? I get oranges, bananas, grapes, apples. I get about a third that say strawberries.
That's funny.
And then all of the others, they're gone because I need detail.
Yeah, I mean, listening to orders is key.
Yeah,
that's pretty funny. I like that.
So if you're potentially going to work for one of us, it's strawberries, people.
There you go. I mean, again, it all comes down to, as I said earlier, our staff are our assets, and it allows me to go and go out and maybe play golf with a client or two and develop relationships to develop are, bringing in business and so forth, and referrals and so forth. So, it's all about the people who are around here to do the work and help us succeed. Yeah.
As long as we're talking about golf and clients and referrals and all of that, I just feel like with social media and email and texting and electronics, that a big part of connecting, just like we recently did, face to face, is such a big thing, whether it's sharing clients, meeting with clients, or meeting a referral source. Can you talk a little bit about what you do or how that works for you? And
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because so many of our clients, I'm sure just like your clients, are so busy, they don't have the time to meet anymore. So it's the interactions, whether it's an email or sometimes a text. I don't text too often with my clients, but the other day it was my birthday the other day, and people wished me happy birthday. Several clients, several referral sources knew they just sent me, and I go, and I was going to play golf that afternoon, and I'm thinking on the way to the golf course, I go, that's really a good way to get my name in front of those clients, those referral sources, hopefully more than once a year, but it's a nice way to say, hey, happy birthday, have a great day. At least, it's one more opportunity for somebody to think of Fred Martin and Winningham Becker, and who knows, you never know what might happen of it. So, but how I've been lucky enough, I joined Provisors 12 years ago. It's a networking group for professionals, insurance people, accountants, attorneys, financial advisors like yourself.
I'm in there,
and I've been lucky. I've got a great group here in Woodland Hills, and I've developed a lot of relationships, a lot of great relationships, and even though there's 4 or 5 other CPAs in the group, I've done pretty well for myself. So I've been lucky there, and then but the most important thing is your clients. You're responding to emails. The customer service is so important to me, at least. It's how do I respond to these emails? So and my clients love that. It's like if they know if they're going to send me an email, they're going to get a response probably pretty quickly. And even if I'm out and about or on the golf course, I'll even say, hey, I can't get to it now, but I'll get to it first thing in the morning. I think they love that about the customer service. They know that if they send me an email or whatever phone call, they're going to get a response pretty quickly. It's important.
It's big. It's making people feel valued and important. I think it's really big. That's awesome. I'm in Provisors too, so I know about.
Oh, you are? Okay. Which group are you in?
Santa Monica 4.
Okay.
I need to do more Valley work, but I think the thing why it does work is that you see people face to face once a month. You see your group face to face, and it's a reminder to connect.
Yeah. No, it's true. It's true.
So I got a few more follow-ups, and then we'll wrap it up. I'll go with this one. Like, you deal with money so much, and like I always ask this to everyone, what is the most important thing that you've learned about money since you got into accounting?
People always ask me, clients always ask me, well, how can I get more deductions? And I tell them, I said, because they want to save taxes. I said, well, if you don't need something, I'd rather you not spend the dollar on whatever you don't need to get a deduction. I'd rather you pay the 40 cents and pay the 40 cents in taxes, give or take 40, 50 cents, and keep the other 40 or 50 or 60 or 50 cents. I mean, that's the biggest key, is to try to keep your money as much as possible, so you have a nice nest egg when it's time to retire, or a legacy that you can leave your kids, grandkids. Cash is king. That's the bottom line. Yeah. Keep it in your pocket as much as possible. Yeah. I mean, and give it to guys like you who can make it work for them. 10, 15%. I know that 10, 15 might be pushing it, but for the most part, if you do 10% a year, give or take, you have some down years, you're gonna be pretty wealthy if you can put away a decent amount of money every year.
So for those of you listening, what Fred is talking about is if you can save 10% per year, not make 10% a year. Making 10% would be great, but actually doing both would be amazing. But yes, for me, it's the compounding of interest. I think that is the most important concept in money, period.
Correct.
And what Fred is talking about is he's like, cash is king. Well, you have to have the cash in order to compound. If you don't have the cash and you're going out and buying, I'm making it up, a computer to just get a deduction, that money could have been invested had it not been spent on something you didn't need.
I tell the youngsters in my firm to do as much as you can in the 401k. I know it's harder for somebody making $60,000 or $70,000 a year to put, $8,000, $9,000, $10,000 into a 401k. But boy, when I look at my 401k statement every quarter, I just go, wow, I'm so glad I started this thing, 27 years ago. That's not the only thing I'm going to use. I've got other savings that you have to just put away. But I know it's hard, especially living in LA. Making $60,000, $70,000 is not a whole lot of money to live in this town.
So you did your 401k, and if you made other investments, did you automate it, or did you just take a certain amount out per year or quarter or something?
I automated. I basically take $750 out of my paycheck every time, and it goes into my financial account.
That's great. Automating is big.
Yeah, if you don't see it, you're never going to touch it. It's so hard. It's so hard to just get your checkbook and say, "Oh, let me put $1,000 in my savings account." It's just hard to do.
Yeah,
you never see it. Out of sight, out of mind, right?
Yeah. So I'm with you. I want to go to my last question. Is about, it's a two-parter. One is how are you dealing with the tax situation now? But I think it's so important for people to understand how you learn, because you have to deal with people, you have to deal with your clients, and now you have to deal with this whole new tax law. And every few years there'll be something. But so my question to you is, it's really how do you stay on top of it? But how are you learning all of this stuff? Do you just read a book? Do you watch webinars? What do you do?
Yeah. I mean, it's tough. You can't know everything. So, but we have research tools that allow us to, go look and see what, if you buy a 6,000 pound vehicle, what that tax deduction will do for you, or what, how to do a health savings account. We have every year, every December, early December, I believe it's around the 10th or 12th this year, we have 16 hours of CE, continuing education, to learn about the new tax laws and how they incorporate, so we could use it for our year-end tax planning. December is the most important time of the year for a CPA. It's not April. It's not now. April, we're just working more hours in April and in October, September, just because of the tax deadlines. But December is the most important time of the year. And
so can everyone just come and tailgate at Winningham Becker December 9th and get CE credit for no reason whatsoever?
Our doors are always open.
I got to drill down more, because I how are you learning and staying on top of all of this?
Yeah. We have webinars during the year too. I mean, the new tax law, the code section 199, which is talking about the 20% deduction for certain businesses. Yeah. And, I mean, that's very complicated. It's not. I mean, I read it back in January, and I was like, oh my God, we're going to need a lot of CE on this subject, and we've had probably about 15 hours at least of CE over the summertime, where we're not as busy. We don't have any CE now when we're a little busier, but that's the only way to do it. And we have a good training team that they provide us all the basically, if you want to learn about a topic and it's available for a webinar, we can have it, whether we do it in our conference room or whether I do it in front of my own computer. Mm-hmm. So it's nice to have, and I know I have one CE, I think in a couple of weeks, about athletes and entertainers. I don't know exactly the topic, but I know it's about that. So I'm looking forward to what more I can bring to our clients, and save them money. Because my whole purpose in life as a CPA is to save my clients tax dollars. if I can't do that, there's no reason to hire me or my firm. I mean, that's the bottom line.
Are you finding it harder now to do that with the new tax laws?
Yes and no. I mean, if you have a business, I can help you. If you're an employee, I probably can't, to be very honest. I mean, if it's a husband and wife and they're just employees, there's really not much I can do for them from a tax perspective. But if there's a business, some sort of business operations or rental properties, then I think we can help for sure. But yeah, the employees, the last tax law really killed the employees, and actually it helped us out because some of the employees who were thinking about incorporating, like in the entertainment industry, I have a lot of writers. They were always thinking about incorporating, and as an employee, their deductions were kind of limited without getting too complex into the tax code. But because of it, now incorporating and having your own corporation is a benefit for before versus being an employee. So,
well, I've learned a lot from you, and it's been a great
strawberries.
Time. Thank you for coming on. Hold on, I got to ask you these rapid fire questions because I love asking you. Okay. What is your favorite food?
Pizza.
Pizza. Favorite song?
Wow. Born to Run. Bruce Springsteen.
Oh, so you like The Boss?
Yeah.
He's amazing. And then I know you're a big traveler. What's your favorite place to go to?
My wife and I have gone to Hawaii. Probably we're having our 10-year anniversary next year, and I think this coming January will be our 8th trip to Hawaii in the 10 years that we've. So you can't go wrong with Hawaii, right?
The Big Island or what?
Mostly Maui.
Maui.
Yeah, I mean we've done most of the islands, and Maui I think is in the Lahaina kind of Pauli area.
So I was about to ask you, do you like that side or the Wailea, or do you go to both?
No, we like the Lahaina side for sure.
So Fred is wearing a Hawaiian shirt. He's actually in Maui right now.
Tommy Bahama.
Tommy Bahama. He's in Hawaii, zooming in right now from the Big Island.
Yeah, it's 1:30 over here. So I got my tea time coming up.
Well, you're amazing. Thank you for coming on today. It's been awesome being with you. Looking forward to doing way more stuff with you, and Absolutely. Have a good one and have fun tonight.
I appreciate it, Justin. Enjoy it. Thank you very much. And we should get together again soon.
You got it.
All right. Take care.
Have a question? Want to get in touch with us? Need some help and advice with your finances? Just go to coolmoneyshow.com and reach out to us. That's coolmoneyshow.com.
Krane Financial Solutions is an SEC-registered investment advisor. However, such registration does not imply a certain level of skill or training, and no inference to the contrary should be made. A copy of our current written disclosure statement discussing our advisory services and fees is available upon request. Information contained herein is for informational and illustrative purposes only and general in nature. It should not be considered specific financial planning or investment advice, or a recommendation to buy or sell any type of securities or other investment products. No investment decision should be made based solely on any information provided herein. We do not provide legal, accounting, or tax services. We recommend that all investors seek out the services of competent professionals in any of the aforementioned areas. Certain information provided has been obtained from third-party sources that we believe reliable. However, it's not been independently verified and is not guaranteed.